don't realize it takes courage until it's too late. Until the product is out there. Because I remember Little Mosque and the Prairie came out, but in 2007, I think the Muslim community found it shocking. They were worried I was making fun of them and Islam. Like, comedy is universal. It doesn't necessarily translate to another generation. And so people that had grown up in Canada thought it was funny, but like my parents' generation did not. And, there was a lot of backlash. And so people are like, oh, you're so brave. But that bravery doesn't come out till it's too late. Like, you think everyone's going to love it. This is going to be great. And then it comes out and you're like, oh, it's not so loved as I thought. And then you just have to deal with it. I mean, I've become kind of used to it over the years. And I know that some people in the Muslim community are concerned about like the content of this book. But I feel like if you are true to your vision and your intentionality, then that is what will see you through. And so this was and I like to create things that have meaning and have some sort of message behind it to help make the world a better place, or, bring some justice to the world and right a wrong. So I love entertaining people and making people laugh, but I also want there to be some sort of kernel of something, and that will achieve something as well. And for me, that, like the Muslim community has suffered a lot from dehumanization, invasions, war, colonialism, much like the First Nations community in Canada has suffered. And it's an uphill battle to try to convince people that, Muslims weren't responsible for these terrorist groups. And that there's a lot of political machinations that have happened, like invasions and wars and arms and, training of young men, and that we need to acknowledge those things in this world so that we won't continually making the same mistakes over and over again. Sometimes it opens a window into a world that we normally wouldn't look into because we just think it's too sad or too serious and is inaccessible to us. But I felt this was such a serious subject and so many things had gone wrong that if there was a way in, it would be through satire and comedy, because it would allow this door to be opened and people would be willing to go through it. Because it's hard reading about these things in a serious document. Like, it's really hard. Like, it's heartbreaking and heart-wrenching. So I was trying to find a way that people wouldn't flinch. People would like read it, absorb it, and then hopefully be able to think about what just happened. What did I just read? What did I learn? And maybe, the result would be that they would want to learn more about it and realize that there's like a deeper, more complicated history to these groups and to the, countries that they belong to. I hate to say this, but just the way the world is today, publishing is very, very competitive. And in the past, editors had time to deal with their authors and help them shape their book. But now there are so many people entering the marketplace, and publishing houses themselves have shrunk, that you have to submit a manuscript that's almost, 100% polished and ready to publish. And if you don't have a manuscript like that, it's really hard to break into the industry. And that's why I really encourage people, like, there's lots of grants out there that exist to hire editors and work with them through your manuscript and try to make it the best manuscript it can possibly be before you let a publisher or an agent see it, because it makes a big, big difference in what will happen with that book. And if it takes years, that's okay. It took me 6 years, of rewriting, and working on it and polishing it and understanding it before it finally made it out into the world. And if it takes that long, it takes that long, because you get a better product.